there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And I actually filmed this video before, like a week ago, and couldn't find it on my computer. So I apologize that this one is coming in late. We've had company for Christmas and you know how it goes. But I'm excited to talk about this film. The movie I'm reviewing today is called Ferrari. This stylish biopic is now playing in theaters. The movie is rated R. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is somewhere between an A and an A minus. It's not perfect, but it's pretty doggone close. So let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines if there are any, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also like. Now, if you're a subscriber, you already know my goal is to save you time and money. So I try to give you content and talk about filmmaking quality so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching this film. So in a nutshell, the film was directed by Michael Mann, who also co-produced it with over 36 other people, including Adam Driver, who stars in the movie as Ferrari. It has been a passion project of this director ever since he started talking about it 20 years ago. This is Mann's first film in 8 years. Screenwriting credits go to Troy Kennedy Martin and Brock Yates. So the movie is set in 1957 in Italy when Enzo Ferrari's auto empire and personal life were in crisis. Ferrari was a famous racer who became an entrepreneur who pushed himself and his drivers to the dangerous edge as they launched the Mille Miglia, the 1,000 treacherous mile race across the country that killed racers as well as adults and children who were watching from the sides. Because of all of those deaths, this was the last time they ever had that Mille Miglia in Italy, and rightly so. The movie has already been nominated 11 times for various awards, winning 2 of them by the Gotham Awards, one for the director for Icon and Creator Tribute for Innovation, and one for Penelope Cruz for Outstanding Supporting Performance. And she's incredible, but I'll get to that in just a minute. The National Board of Review awarded it 2023 winner Top Films. So congratulations to all, and I'm sure there's going to be some Oscar nominations for this crowd. So let me give you some tips for parents. Because the movie is rated R, it's not appropriate for children. Kids, I think, are going to be bored. It's a lot of adults talking. There is a lot of profanity as well as multiple F-bombs. We see crashes with drivers and observers killed in brutal, bloody ways. We see the full backside of a naked man running into bed. Several scenes show the start of intimate relations. So we don't see full-on action, so that's great. But, you know, there is some of that going on. So some of the themes that are illustrated really well are ambition, racing, love and loss, danger, infidelity, family and heirs, investing in business, women's influence, and the power of the press. So here's the long list of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, I am a huge fan of Adam Driver and became an even bigger fan after his jaw-dropping performance in the movie Marriage Story, which won him an Oscar nomination. And I wanted him to win, but of course, Joaquin Phoenix won that year, and that was well-deserved too. But his performance was unbelievable. I wanted him to have that kind of a moment in this movie, and he could have, but he just didn't quite get there. I've heard some people criticize his Italian accent, and that actually didn't bother me because I just like him so much. But I almost didn't recognize him with his gray hair in this role as Enzo Ferrari, and he was fantastic, I thought. Another huge standout performance is by the beautiful Penelope Cruz, who gives a powerful, fierce performance. She is sure to at least earn an Oscar nomination for her role in this, and maybe even win. We'll see. It's that good of a performance. The rest of the cast includes the terrific Patrick Dempsey, Shailene Woodley, Jack O'Connell, and Gabriel Leone, among many others. We get to visit Italy in this film. My husband and I love Italy so much that we remodeled our home to kind of capture the charming, elegant look of Tuscany. The racing scenes in this movie are tense and very well done. So kudos to the stunt team. Excellent production and set design, and even some costuming. The replicas of the race cars are very impressive. Beautiful cinematography by Eric Messerschmidt. And the film, just so you know, the film focuses on 1 year of Enzo's life that was especially challenging and heart-wrenching. So because of that, there is far less racing than you might assume there would be with the name of Ferrari. Now, let me speak to the things that I didn't like, and that's kind of one of the elements, is how the story ends, because in this movie, they're kind of on the brink of bankruptcy. But we know the Ferrari brand has done extremely well and is very successful today. So that kind of reduces a little bit of the tension in that regard. Some of the accents are not very good and even a little bit distracting at times. Adam Driver didn't get to drive any of the original race cars for insurance reasons. We got to keep him safe. But Patrick Dempsey did get to drive one of the replicas. Dempsey, by the way, has actually competed in quite a few competitions in real life, including at the Daytona race. And so it was because of that reason he got to drive the race cars and Adam Driver didn't. Ironically, Adam's last name is Driver. I admit I actually was bored just a few times waiting for something to happen. Some of the scenes drag on much longer than necessary, and the dramatic scenes really weigh down the fast-paced race scenes. That's what everybody's waiting for, is the big race scenes. And as I mentioned, they just are fewer than you would expect. Now, if you're worried that the majority of the film will be just about racing, you'll be happy to know that there is a lot more going on in this film. On the other hand, if you're hoping for lots of thrilling action, you'll probably be annoyed by all of the drama. Some of the racing scenes occur at nighttime, which will make viewing those particular scenes a little bit difficult if you watch them on small devices once the film goes to streaming. Now, whenever I watch movies, I always write down funny lines and interesting lines so you can get a taste for the filmmaking content and script writing quality. And you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them here with you right now. So Enzo Ferrari has some really great lines. He's talking about the press. And he says, when we lose, you're a lynch mob. It's enough to make the Pope weep. And I don't know, I just thought that that was kind of funny. And then he and his wife, Laura, Enzo and Laura are battling. Their marriage is on the brinks for sure. And they're trying to put together a deal. And Ferrari says to his wife, Laura, what do you want me to say? Mr. Ford, we have a deal. But first, I must wait to ask my wife for permission. There's some of the old school toxic masculinity, you could call it. And so Ferrari's wife, Laura, says, yes, you can say that. She wants to have her say in the business. She's married to Ferrari and she wants him to listen to her and have some respect. Now, some interesting lines go along with that part of the story. They lose their son. We don't see all of that. It has just happened prior to the movie when we begin the movie, but they are still struggling with the loss that when he was a young son and he died. And so Laura Ferrari says to her husband, this is God's way of punishing us. And she sees that they're not doing everything in the business on the up and up or in the way that it should be done. And so that's when she says that line. And then another interesting line is when Enzo says, if you get in one of my cars, you get in to win. And he is so driven and you would say even mean at times because he's so demanding of himself and of his race car drivers and of his marriage, his wife, and all of the people surrounding him. And then another interesting line that he says is, We all know it's our deadly passion, our terrible joy. And he's talking about race car driving and how dangerous it is. They see people they know and love get killed, and it's just heartbreaking. And rather than saying, whoa, 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 let's slow down here, Enzo just keeps pushing. Anyway, really, really interesting film and fantastic performances. So let me tell you three recommendations for performances that I also thought were really good and have to do with racing. So the first movie is Ford v Ferrari, which came out about 4 years ago. What I really liked about that is you get lots of racing, you get lots of history, but there's also a lot more humor. In this movie about Ferrari, it is pure drama. There were maybe a couple moments where I snickered, but it's not a comedy. Now, Ford v Ferrari is not a comedy either, but they really become more playful and have more humor in that movie. Another pure racing movie is Rush, and you get a lot of time on the track. And so that one's a lot of fun, also well done. And then a recent one that I just reviewed is called Gran Turismo. And that one's got a lot of humor, a lot of racing, and it's also based on a true story, a remarkable true story. So I'll actually queue up my review of that one right after this one finishes. So you can watch that one in case you missed the movie or it flew under the radar and you didn't even know it existed. I think that you'll really enjoy that one as well. All right. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram. You can join me on Trina Boice, which is one of my platforms there. And then another one is Movie Review Mom, of course. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.